All right, this video is going to be talking about using text as a object. So when you want to be able to put text, whether it's use text as a mesh to be able to mix in with your scene, let's say that you have some building or anything, you want to put like text on the front of it that's going to have like a signage of some sort of, name of a store or anything like that, and you want to be able to actually use it and manipulate it like you would a regular object. What you can do is you can actually come into Blender, go in, and you're going to add text, okay? And you'll see it'll come up automatically with a text on here. And you can go tab into edit mode. So edit mode is where you're going to be able to change the text, okay? So I'll use Stitchless, my name on here. And so let's say you want to be able to take this and let's say you wanted to change the font of it. So first you can go over to the little text icon over on the right hand side. It says data. You can go to it and what you're going to see is it's got a little tab for font. So it has a bunch of options on here for what you can do. Like you can offset it to space out the letters more. You can add bold, italic, and everything. If you click the little folder, it's going to pull up your regular font folder that's in Windows. So this is just the Windows fonts folder. So you can download other fonts and put them in here. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I tried to download a Mario one. It didn't seem to work in here, but there's a bunch of them you can get out there. But let's say you wanted to change your font. Okay, so I'm going to select font. So obviously it's got a different way it's going to be showing it here. You can change the font size, all kinds of things with it. Okay, so now let's say you get your font the way that you want it, and now you want to be able to use this object. So let's go back into object mode here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to do convert to mesh. Okay, so now what that does is that now it's a mesh object that I can do whatever with, right? So I'm going to tab over into edit mode, okay, and you'll see it's got some really ugly geometry. Now, I could come in here and I could take and select all this if I wanted to, go up into the quad remesh, which is a download that you can do for quad remesher. I can select however many quads I want, and what it's going to do is make it nice and clean, right? So that's something probably recommend doing. Just, get the quad remesher and add that in there. It makes your life easier, but you don't have to, but it makes it a lot cleaner when you're editing it. Now let's say that I wanted to be able to make this more blocky, right? I'm going to take and I'm going to select faces, okay? And I can actually extrude out. So now if I do extrude, it's going to create my faces. So, all right, so that's pretty cool, right? I can go ahead and now I've got this object selected. Now what, right? I can come in here if I wanted to, and I could add in modifiers to it. So I could come in here and generate a bevel modifier, for example. Now, depending on how many different quads and stuff you did with the quad remesher, it may not do a lot of beveling. You'll see that mine's only going to do a tiny bit around the edges. Okay, so let's say that you're like, oh, well, that doesn't work. I need it to be a little bit better than that. You could go in there and you could try to select all your edges and just do Control B, which is going to bevel it. It's going to get a little bit weird. You'll see. Okay. Now, if you didn't do a lot of quads, you could probably do the bevel without any problems, but this just kind of gives you an idea of some of the issues that you can have with it. So we'll just go ahead, add the bevel modifier, allow it to do as the maximum amount it can without messing up the quads. We'll go ahead and get back into object mode and we'll apply it, okay? So then it gives me the ability to do whatever. Now, if I want to be able to edit this any further, I can edit it just like I would a normal object. I can sculpt it. I can smooth out the edges. I can remesh it just like I would anything else. And we can actually close this up here. But I could go ahead, let's say I wanted to remesh this to be able to do anything else with it. You'll see that when you use the quad remesher and you have a lot of geometry to it, if you do a low number on the remesh, it's going to come out all weird like this. So you would have to undo it, and you have to make sure that your voxel size is high enough. Now, one thing you can do is you can always use the eyedropper to kind of check where you're at. So if you look at this, it's a lot lower than where I had it, right? So if I want to keep it somewhere around the same, I can actually just remesh and you'll see it didn't change too much, right? I can go in here and edit this like I normally would, okay? So just something to be aware of. You can do all kinds of edits with your words, and now I can take this object, I can put it onto other objects, I can merge it, I can do all kinds of cool things with it. So just wanted to show you a quick little tip and tutorial about using text inside your objects when you're doing things, and hopefully this helped a little bit for people who are a little bit newer out there, like I was and like I still somewhat am, and hopefully enjoy Blender, and good luck.